Has the train now been fixed?
Thank you, Evans. The train is brought back to the maintenance yard in Tema. The Poland engineers have assessed the extent of damage, and plans are far advanced to fix the train. Technically, the train is very sound. The electronic system and the mechanical systems, with special regard to the engine, is untouched. I mean, it's very, very solid. Nothing wrong about the train. The front that we saw, the fenders at the front, they are slightly damaged, which will need to be replaced. So what engineers did is to take inventory of those items and order them back from Poland to Ghana. Yeah.
Who's going to bear the cost?
As at the time of the incident, we have not taken ownership of the train. There was no transfer of ownership, which means that the supplier was still responsible for the train. We get ownership when government make a full payment. You know, we have not yet made a full payment through the LC. The LC went through Bank of Ghana for payment to be made. You know, so we haven't taken full control of the plane as owners of the plane. The contract agreement specification regarding and vis-a-vis leading to the transfer of ownership states specifically that until full payment is made and until the test run has been conducted and certified by a third party and handed over to the ministry for on transfer to any of the agencies. So we have not taken a full delivery in terms of ownership of the train. The company in question, which for now we say is the owner, the VOAB, they supply the train, had made an arrangement for insurance. And my understanding is that an insurance company had insured the train. So, of course, it's left to the company to push in or trigger that clause for payment of the necessary insurance.
So Ghana is not going to bear the cost of
it? Not at all. Not at all. Ghana government is not bearing any cost, neither the ministry or any of its agencies.
And do we know how long this is going to take?
Maybe 2-3 weeks. I mean, yeah. The train is running. I mean, but we have to change that, you know, fenders, as I mentioned earlier. So maximum, I think 3 weeks, we should be able to get the items back into Ghana. Easily can be airlifted, you know, to speed up the process.
I'm sure you saw the question that was asked about the test run that we did. Did we inspect the track?
Yeah, normally there are boxes to tick during this process of test run. And this is the 306 inspection and test run being conducted by these Polish engineers. They said this was about 306 for this year alone across the whole world. And they've never experienced this. So they have a system to follow. So there was, of course, the first was to send a rail track, which went ahead about 30 minutes. Early in the morning, they did an inspection across the whole line. And when they were able to set off 30 minutes, because the line, it's a new line, they put in the rail track. We have a rail track that is used for maintenance. That goes 30 minutes ahead of the train. So yes, the inspection has been done, and the necessary measures have been put in place before the commencement and the departure of the train from kilometer zero. So that is exactly what happened.
So the inspection that day showed that there was nothing on the track that was inhibiting the passage of the train?
Precisely, because they give a clearance that the line is free. And so the train and the rail track 30 minutes this time, because the train ran faster than the rail track. You know, so they give an indication that the line is free, and it follows up. And you also saw that after the incident, the rail track had to move from Mpakadan, from kilometer 97 towards the scene, you know, to push the other items out of the road. So those necessary precautions were taken, and this I expect the engineers, they've done this several times. It's not the first day that they're doing it in Ghana. So all those precautions were put in place.
And I'm sure that they've been briefed, I believe, thoroughly about what happened.
Precisely.
The braking system, though, I believe that the train would have a system that sort of alerts it as it proceeds a few meters ahead what the situation is. But also the braking system would allow it to sort of brake. What was the briefing that you received in terms of that system?
What I was told is that it was in a curve. And the minimum allowable distance for application of this braking system, I understand, is about 1 kilometer, you know. So they've gone through the curve, and to where this particular vehicle was parked, you know, of course, less than 100 kilometers. So on seeing the track, you know, on the rail, there was an attempt. You can see, if you see the video, the operator actually make an attempt to, you know, put in the braking system, which was done, but it was very close. You saw the distance. And so that runs into the track. So yes, of course, they tried to apply the brake, you know, but it was very close to it. And you realize that the train comes to a halt, you know, after the incident.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does it have a radar system?
We don't have a radar system on this train to detect any obstacles on the line. What we have is a signaling. What the signaling does is to communicate between two trains, oncoming vehicles, and, you know, the other one, you know, going in opposite direction. So we have that signaling system, you know, on the line. But we don't have a radar to determine that there's an obstacle on the line. That we don't have. There are cameras that we have, but these cameras are also located only at the stations. We have about 8 beautiful stations constructed along this line. So the cameras are positioned along the stations. So it is extremely difficult for a train to move at kilometer 0, get to kilometer 20, and detect that there's an obstacle in kilometer 84, for example. That it's not installed on this train. We don't have that system.
Is it a function that we should have?
A radar system, I think, is something that we would do, because this a new train that we have brought in, and if you look at the infrastructure that have been built in Tema, it's modern, because the train can be shut down from the control center in Tema. We have built a very beautiful control where the train can be shut down if it detects that there's an oncoming train coming in the same direction. They can stop it instantaneously. That can happen. So, but what we don't have is the radar system that I've just spoke about. Yeah.
And do we know how much it's going to cost for the repairs?
Of this train, I have no idea, but I understand it's not quite extensive. Yeah.
And just clarify, I talked about 12 trains. This is one of 2.
This particular one, this is what we call the diesel multiple unit. So you see the 2 sides, it can move in both directions. And so there are 2 coming in. This is the first one. The second one, it's coming by July. The other one we have, which arrangement has also been made, I think the industry document has said Ministry of Finance, is what we call the locomotives. The locals are for freight. But what we have here specifically, and what you saw on the train, this one is for passengers only. So this is just for passengers. The freight is what we are about to bring. And I think they are about 12 in numbers or so. That's the locomotives. Yeah.
So the total of 3 of this is what you're hoping to have?
This, the DMU, one is here. The other one is coming. 2.
2. So 2.
For passengers, only 2.
Okay.
It has a capacity of about 200 people.
And what's the cost of this?
The 2, understand that the value of the LC is about $15 million. So,
$15 million.
Yeah, so one may be approximately about 7.5. There have been some fluctuations, I was told, which total to about 1.5 million addition. So total to that, we were looking at about $16 million or 16.5, if I'm right.
Finally, let me ask you on this matter. What do you make of the criticism that has been leveled against yourself? In fact, the former president, John Dramani Mahama, did a tweet on it, in which he raised the subject of the tracked inspection, for example, questioning why the rail was tested at a time when there wasn't proper testing done. There has been some criticism of the way this whole thing was handled. Do you accept that the engineers, the authorities that supervised this, failed us in the way that they ran this test?
I totally disagree with His Excellency John Mahama. I don't blame him. This is not his field. those guys who did this test run are experts. There are 16 engineers that were brought from Poland. This is 304, I was told, tests that they've conducted worldwide this year. And so, I don't know His Excellency John Mahama where he's coming from with this understanding that no inspection has been done. As I clearly explained to you, they put in the system for inspection. A rail track was put ahead. Earlier on in the morning, they went around the whole line to see that there was no obstacle. 30 minutes this time before the takeoff of this DMU, the rail track, the maintenance track, was put ahead. So what is he saying when he said inspection?
This is what he says. How can you conduct a test run on the new railway line without the track inspection? How long had the vehicle been on the track before the test run? If I were president, I'll be asking some serious questions. The second question he asked...
Can I answer that question?
Yes.
I don't think he understood the question himself, his accent. Did he try to find out whether inspection was done as a former president? Did he make an effort before coming out with this? Sometimes some of us just refuse to talk because some of this statements being made by people at higher authority. If I'm a former president, I would never say this type of thing. Did he try? He knows me well. He could just find out from me from the office. Oh, my minister, my boy. Then we'll tell him the truth. He has not established that fact. And as a president, have an intention of coming to lead Ghanaians, and you come out with this sort of statement. I don't know. Surprisingly, this type of, I don't know how to describe it, but His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, this is below the belt. I am sorry, I give you all the kind of respect, but I expect you to find out first. This is below the belt.